They say that ignorance is bliss, but at the same time, we are aware that knowledge is power. Both of these have valid points, but if you were to choose, which one would you pick? Whenever we picture dictatorships, there is always censorship involved, because they benefit on ignorance. Ignorance makes you easier to control, because that way you won't even know of different perspectives and things that you hadn't considered before. After doing research on this topic, I've noticed that how hard it is to find reliable and unbiased sources. This makes it even more important to talk about and not to defend liars, because we need to understand there is always some level of trust in whatever we believe to be the truth, because 100% certainty is impossible. This topic pertains to anyone because there is censorship in places that claim to have freedom of speech, affecting information we are exposed to and develop perceptions. It is natural to want to limit misinformation by removing posts that have outrageous claims, but it is better to refute it directly by using proof and logic, because mediums often silence information that is not beneficial to them. It doesn't educate and simply blinds them as if we were not capable of reasoning ourselves. This leads me to the first question. What information is being censored and who is doing it? We first need to know that mediums are often biased and they remove info that doesn't benefit them. Freedom of speech is also not protected by private companies, such as the case of Donald Trump in 2021. According to The Problem with Censoring Political Speech Online by Vera Elderman, says that the social medias like YouTube that banned Trump did not justify the ban based on their policies. I mean, even Pinterest banned him, so he can't even do collages anymore. Censorship not only bans false information, but verified topics that everyone has a right to know. According to How an Article About the H-Bomb Landed Scientific American in the Middle of the Red Scare by Professor Alfred McCoy in the 50s, the US destroyed 3,000 magazines of nuclear research by physicist Hans Bethe. This is even worse than the social media thing because this is the US themselves violating their own law, the First Amendment. This topic is also affecting everyone since the US disconsent from its people to do whatever they are doing that could potentially bring a lot of harm to people. They did this to avoid backlash because I think that they didn't want people to find out that they were using scientific research to do wars and things like that. Now that we talked about what censorship is and how it's affecting us, let's study the effects of it. The censorship that is even positive, like limiting the spread of harmful things, has actually some pretty bad things that are surrounding it as well. It actually does the opposite. It actually makes people suspect you more. Because we all hate fake claimers, they are bad, but I understand not wanting them. But this is also a sign of confirmation to people who didn't really believe in it, but now they're saying, why are they not just refuting it? Like, why aren't you just taking it down? Like, that's like kind of says that you have something to hide. It is also implying that that the public can't do their own research, and that you're also saying that people don't have the right to believe in what they deem best. Which in my survey it said that people do believe that people should believe in whatever they want. Like 68% people agreed with this. Also, since censorship does not educate, it is only suppressing, and it is leaving people to be ignorant. Not every censorship is fake, like we already said. According to Censorship Protects Ignorance, Not Innocence, says that this is deterring to gaining knowledge. Because according to Censorship Effect by researcher Lydia Levinson, says that censorship is like propaganda. It sets apart what the governments want people to know and what they want to promote themselves. People usually get the truth by consuming a variety of different information like opposing viewpoints, and if you're just censoring the things that you don't like, you are leaving people ignorant. They are not getting the full truth of what is online. So now that we talked about the effects, let's talk about my solution. My specific solution says that we should label posts if there is misinformation. Like, we should point a link to it and it says like, this is the place where you can get information and also why it's wrong. I understand that this is not really that efficient because it is honestly like way easier to just push a button and just delete it. But I don't think this is fair because that way people are not getting the education they need. You're not, and also by doing my solution, you could be just preserving freedom of speech by just educating people and not just silencing them. This solution is something for this solution is mostly something for moderators and the government, but you can definitely do something to prevent the need for censorship. For example, people do have valid reasons to want to censor people, because some people believe that everything they look online, like you probably know those people. I'm not saying that any of you like believe everything that you see, but also be conscious of what you consume online and be skeptical. Do not share questionable things that you don't know where they come from just because they're like, oh wow, like you don't need to share it if you don't know. And try to refute things in the comments so that people know, oh, this post was false, things like that. In conclusion, say close. Remember that things that have good intentions are not always good in the long run. This compares to how you censor information that does not. This compares to how people censor information that does not want them to, and this is affecting freedom and knowledge. It is better to argue than to suppress. The third point is that you need to be skeptical. Do your own research and rebut with logic. Because consider this: even lies can become truth if power deemed. Even the lies can become the truth of a society if the people in power deem it to be that way. Thank you for listening to my speech.